Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and the good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond, in London, England, as well as Paris, France, and of course you good old boys from Canada. We love you, Canada, but Big C, there's no one we love more than you good old boys down south, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Big C, how's it going for you good old boys? Oh yeah.
Didn't have to have any moonshine last night to make myself
That is so beautiful. What a great game it was. Today is a beautiful September the 5th, 2017 in the land of the free and the home of the brave. And Big C, when you talk about the sports world, I kind of overdosed on football. And ironically, the funny thing last night, they could have called that game the Moonshine Bowl, because we know down in Georgia and Tennessee, that's where a lot of that good old boy stuff comes from. It seemed like the crowd was very relaxed in the first half. Can you explain why they were so relaxed, Big C? Your thoughts? Yeah.
You know, when you walk into that facility, you're mesmerized.
Gorgeous.
There's nothing to cheer about because you've seen it all the minute you walk through the door.
Yeah.
It is the most gorgeous stadium interior-wise, Charlton, that
Yeah.
anyone could ever imagine. So that's going to leave crowds awestruck on that first appearance into that new Mercedes-Benz Dome down in the downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
And, you know, it became a very electrifying, second half with that game going into overtime. And, a very controversial play at the end of the game. Looked like the player may have possibly, reached the goal line, which all you have to do is touch the goal line. You don't have to go into the end zone. But nevertheless, Tennessee pulled out a hard-fought victory in the end, 42-41.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful thing that you brought up. And, of course, we're still thinking about Texas, and there's another hurricane about to hit the coast of Florida and Cuba. So our prayers are for everybody. Please heed the warnings of all the emergency evacuation warnings coming up. But, Big C, I want to touch on something. We all talk about how much we love the sports business. I really want to tip my hat to Arthur Blank. Never met the man, but what he's done for the city of Atlanta and building really the mecca of football now, at least stadium-wise. I know the Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all, but Mercedes-Benz Stadium, for anyone building stadiums, I think he hit a home run with that stadium. Number one, he left it downtown Atlanta. He didn't move them out to the suburbs, where a lot of teams did. The 49ers left downtown San Francisco primarily, went south about 45 miles. The same thing happened with the old RFK Stadium for the Redskins. They moved. But he built the stadium right across the street from the old Georgia Dome. And not only did he keep it local, he hired a lot of people from the Atlanta area to help in the construction of that stadium. Big C, your thoughts? Yeah.
I mean, it is one of the most, it's not one of the, it's the most beautiful architecture.
It's the best.
That you ever see. And I've been to all of them in the United States.
Yeah.
Whether it's college or college.
Yeah.
All these places, palaces. This is second to none. You talk about an exterior that's stainless steel and glass, well, basically aluminum, because
Yeah.
it's lightweight chocolate.
Yeah.
It's shiny, unpolished aluminum and glass all over you. It has this huge bird out in the front. I can't tell whether it's an eagle or hawk.
Did you guys try to shoot it? Is the question, Big C?
When you just walk in, there's all the amenities interior-wise within the stadium.
Yeah.
It was thought about for the fans. I mean, and there's one end where you look out over downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
You leave nothing unturned when you look at this facility. Arthur Blank has done so much for the Atlanta area.
Yeah.
He's brought in a professional hockey team that started playing this last season.
Yeah.
You think about the renovation that he's helped with in downtown Atlanta. He was part of bringing the College Football Hall of Fame to Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's done so much, as far as programs, inner-city programs, helping those underprivileged people, Charlton, in the city and greater metro Atlanta area.
Yeah.
He's the original founder of Home Depot, so when you think about it, he has his thumbprint on half the homes in America.
Yeah.
Who have done self, renovation and home improvements. you know, half of America shops at Home Depot, which is an invention of Arthur Blank.
Yeah.
So he is, you know, family-oriented, he's team-oriented, and he's community-oriented, Charles. He's, you know, he's like a young Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
He's just not seen and talked. You know, he lets the coach do the talking. He does everything that Jerry does. He stands on the sideline at the end of the game and all that. He's very into his players. But he's not that vocal pitch person where I have to be the spokesperson.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I hire coaches and general managers. Jerry hasn't learned that yet.
Yep.
You know, when he had a great coach, he won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
When he started running his mouth, he never made it back again.
That's a very good point.
Arthur Blank, you know, everybody can take a page from Arthur as far as what he has done, as far as ownership and community involvement with the Atlanta Falcons and professional, you know, downtown area of Atlanta.
That is gorgeous, Big C. I do want to say this segment is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive girls, tell them Big C sent you. One more thing I want to bring up about Arthur Blank, because we talk about the president just tried to, they're trying to do away with this bill that lets immigrants stay here if they're born in the United States. And I think they're talking about deporting over 780,000 Americans out of the country as long as they have dark skin complexion. They're not sending people back to Europe, and they're not the ones that rigged the election either. But I think that's horrendous, the fact that I'm so proud of President Obama for speaking out and saying this is not right. We have this eugenic thing going on in Washington, D.C., where the skinheads are praised by the president, but the people who came, who are here by no fault of their own, trying to do everything right to stay American citizens, he wants to send 780,000 Americans back to Mexico. That's just a joke. So we already know that's the case. But I do want to bring this up. What I love about Arthur Blank took a part of Atlanta, I think it's West Atlanta, that's right now it's kind of impoverished. And they let a lot of the contractors get training, and they train them to go to work. Now, isn't that something the President of the United States should be doing, Big C? Not sending people, 780,000 people out of the country. Big C, your thoughts?
Yeah. Came to the U.S. And now he's talking about deporting people to a country that they know nothing about. That's in a way, Charlton, that's genocide is what he's talking about. You're going to send people to a country where they have no ties other than ethnicity.
Yeah.
And you know, he's only talking about Mexican Americans.
Yep.
He's not talking about Asian Americans, where there are more Asian Americans in this country than there are Mexican Americans here illegally, Charlton.
Yeah.
He's not talking about European Americans that are here illegally.
No.
He's only talking about Mexican Americans. So he has some type of euphoria of this wall that he built, that if he forces the hand on Congress that they would give him the funds to build this wall. Now, this lets you know how asinine this president is.
Yeah.
He has his focus on building this wall between the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah.
We were just hit with the worst natural disaster in American history. They're talking about in excess of $150 billion in disaster relief aid needed. And he's still animated about building a wall. He's not concerned about the people who live in America who need the financial assistance and all the aid from the government that they can possibly get right now and any other form, Charlton.
Yeah.
He's so concerned about his base that he said, I'm going to build this wall, that he's not concerned about the people of the great state of Texas who voted him into office. You think about half of the Houston voters voted for him, Charlton.
Yeah.
And now he's talking about turning his back on them.
Yep.
Not only that, Charlton, we look at the state of Florida also that is right in the path of Hurricane Emma.
Yeah.
And he's talking the same thing. Let's build this wall. I'm not concerned about disaster relief. These are Americans that he's turning his back on. He's done it ever since he's been president.
Yeah.
But even more so now that he's talking about deporting people that have been part of the American infrastructure. He said, well, if I deport these people, then other Americans will be able to take their jobs. Charlton, Americans that were born here didn't want those jobs that those DACA citizens have, Charlton.
Yep.
Otherwise, they would have them.
Yep.
And I really disrespected the phrase that he used. Well, there's 900 African Americans out of work in that same age group that can have those jobs. Charlton, if they were qualified for one of those jobs, why didn't they apply for it?
Yep.
People didn't get those jobs just because they were Mexican Americans. They got those jobs because they were qualified or they applied.
They applied for it, you know.
White Americans, Anglo Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, they did not apply for those jobs that these people have, Charles.
Yeah.
There was one woman today, Charles, their husband is in the military. He's
Yeah.
getting ready to be deployed to Iraq.
Yeah.
She's a DACA American, Charles.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen when her husband's in Afghanistan that Trump has just decided to send her husband to?
Yeah.
And she ends up getting deported. You're talking about tearing a family apart in every way?
Yeah.
This is not America that everybody thought it was, Charles.
No, it's not. I think when you think about the Red Cross and the work that they've done, and even the great players, athletes all over the country, that diversity is just commonplace. But for all the people who've helped out and given money, now you have people who've been misplaced by the flood. Now they're being told they're going to be shipped out of the country. That's just horrendous. I think obviously there's a lot of writing on the wall with that, but we do want to hope that everybody stays safe. And I just hope the fact that Congress could do a better job than allowing this kind of behavior to go on in the White House, Big C. I do want to touch on a little bit of what happened last night. It's like this must have been the week for meteoric finishes. And when you gotta believe, you gotta believe, you gotta believe. I've heard broadcasters say that over the years. You talk about the ending with Georgia Tech in double overtime in Tennessee. I look at the UCLA Texas A&M game. Now, if we use replay in its right state of mind, Big C, if people looked at the UCLA game, and of course it was a great game, that ball was bobbled before the guy got the second foot in bounds. The first foot, he was bobbling the ball. The second foot landed out of bounds at UCLA, but they didn't go back and replay it the way they should have. And they got the win, but obviously, if we're going to look at the facts, that was really not a touchdown. Now you bring up what happened last night with Georgia Tech and Tennessee. There's also some controversy about that. Why do we have replay, Big C, if they don't want to get it right when we clearly see on TV what happened, Big C? Your thoughts? Yeah.
After they look at that second time, it should be clear cut.
Yep.
The call is.
Yeah.
We see it instantaneously on television when it happens that the play is either right or wrong.
Yep.
Okay? And so when you got a replay official sitting there in super slow-mo and he can't make up his mind, Vegas still exists.
Yeah.
Vegas exists.
Yeah.
But, to have teams and coaches, season put on the line because of an improper call by an official or a missed call by an official, Dawson, I think it's really inappropriate. I think you have to have more sanctions against officials where guys are being suspended for 1, 2, maybe 4 or 5 games. Charles.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden that professionalism may come back because human error does exist.
Yeah.
Electronic error does not exist, Charles. When you see it clearly electronically on a replay that somebody has blown a call.
Yep.
And when you look at this situation with not Houston, Charlton, but A&M and UCLA, and you had this regent speak out against Kevin Sumlin.
That regent should be fired.
That was totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
Not only that, the guy's a lawyer.
Yeah.
But, this is a guy that should be excused from the board of regents because this is a representation of the university.
Yep.
Okay? The coach was hired to represent the university, and he's not downtrodden any of the regents.
No.
The head coach spoke out against the regents at the university. Everybody be calling for his head, Charles.
Yeah.
The regents going after the coach, an African-American coach. And
Yeah.
you think about it. There were some devastating losses in the state of Texas this week.
Yeah.
And there were 2 high-profile coaches that were hired. One at Baylor from Temple University, one at Texas from Houston University.
Yeah.
And both those programs lost.
Yeah.
In their opening game. But there was no backlash about those 2 new head coaches, Charles. Everybody said, well, you got to give them a chance.
Yeah.
Why is it always with the white coach that gets drugged up and down the field by a program like Liberty, coached by the African-American coach,
Turner Gill played in Nebraska. Yeah.
National championship years ago.
Yep.
Got the head coach job first year at Liberty. This is his first year in a school that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he goes into the University of Baylor and dominates this contest, Charles.
Yeah. And that.
Also look at the University of Maryland.
Yeah.
When was the last time they peaked on the radar other than at a basketball game? Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
They walk in and beat up Texas like a weak little sister. and nobody's talking about, hey, let's get rid of this guy. We made a mistake.
Yeah.
But I guarantee if that had been Charlie Strong, Charlton still at the University of Texas.
Yeah.
And he lost like that to Maryland in the open game.
Yeah.
A team that's known for basketball, not football. They would have been talking. They would have fired him this morning.
And that's the thing that you hear about. No matter what a coach does, the players have to make plays. But to even talk about firing someone after one game, and here we are trying to say that this is a sport that it brings our universities a lot of money, and we try to prepare these young men, Big C, to get ready for the real world. And you have some knuckleheads that say fire a coach because they lost by 1 point in a great ball game, one of the most epic ball games in the history of the country. And instead of saying fire the coach, they should be saying we want to thank the coach for bringing us a great product and maybe a distraction from everything that went on in Houston. I think College Station's about 90 miles from Houston.
Coaches and players from the Houston area.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So they were not, I mean, their minds were on the game, but their hearts were back at home.
Yep.
In Houston, half of that A&M team is out of the greater Houston area.
Yeah.
Kevin Sumner recruited heavily there because he had coached at the University of Houston, and he got to know a lot of the high school coaches around in that general area.
Yeah.
So that's a recruiting. He's a great recruiter. And so he brings a lot of kids out of it. So these kids for the last 10 days have been affected what's going on with their families back home.
Yeah.
And these coaches have had families still there. And so that's where their thoughts were. I understand they went out and played a great first half, but they may have relaxed at halftime. So, okay, this game is in the bag.
Right.
Let's think about home, and let's get back home, and hopefully everybody's there okay, and let's help them out.
Yeah.
I can see that as a person, as a humanitarian, that's where these kids' thoughts were.
Yeah.
And they may have relaxed a little bit, thinking that the game was in the bag. Let's put our concerns on our family and friends back home in Houston.
Yeah.
And UCLA stuck back in the contest. I hate these deadbeat reporters, you know, and people calling for Kevin Summers in a situation like that.
Yeah, I agree.
These human Charlton, they think of nothing but
Themselves.
And
Yep.
they have a gore story.
Yeah.
But they didn't talk about the aspect that these people are from Houston.
Yeah.
And their thoughts were with their families and friends, and they were disconcerted about a football game after 30 minutes.
That's a very good point, Big C. A lot of those players are from that area and have family and friends that are still affected. Just because they played a football game, it doesn't mean that their issues went away. So shame on that attorney in that region, gentleman, that was talking about getting rid of someone. Someone should get rid of him is number one, which should happen. But number two, I just want to say it was a great football game. UCLA and Texas A&M, as well as Tennessee and Georgia Tech. What a great way to end college football on a great weekend. I kind of overdosed on football. Big C, is there any moonshine left back in that tin that you good old boys put together for the game down the South? Big C, your thoughts? Yeah. That's funny, Big C. Always good to hear about that. I do want to say that sports is a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. And for every sporting event, you need athletic and event insurance. We work with Ben and Mark. They've been around half a century. They work with Big C Sports, whether you're a pro athlete, a collegiate team, a high school team, or even your mom and pop soccer leagues. Reach out to them and let them know that Big C sent you. Big C, as we cover the second half of our program today, a lot of people getting ready for the NFL coming up. Obviously, we have the major game down in Florida being moved out. I guess they're just going to postpone that game with the Tampa and also Miami, and it's good that they do. I'm glad they're not even considering moving that game up to Orlando or even Jacksonville, because people have, you just brought up a great point, people have families that are left behind. Even if you're a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, if you get hit by that hurricane, it's going to affect your property and your family too. Just talk about the NFL doing the right thing and not even playing that game this week, Big C. Your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, this is the second positive move by the NFL in a week. You know, they canceled the preseason game between Houston and Dallas.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about canceling this game down in Miami. It's the right move, Charlton, because it's not just the players and the dollars that the players are generating from the NFL, but it's family.
Yeah.
What if you lose family members while you're out thinking that you're having a great time playing a football game, you come back and you've lost some loved ones, Charlton?
Yeah.
And, you know, where's your mindset going to be for the rest of the year, the rest of your life? So I think that the NFL finally is starting to get a grasp of humanity.
Yeah.
Is that people are the reason why the NFL exists. The fan base in these communities are the reason why you have NFL teams in those cities, Charlton.
Yeah.
Economically, they can support them, and emotionally they support them also. So you have to be willing to give back. With the amount of money that these citizens have allowed these NFL owners to make, stay behind. Give them something.
Yeah.
Give them hope. Don't just take the team out protecting your investment, where their investment has to be left behind, Charlton. I think that's a proper move, and hopefully the NFL will gain some cojones over time. Okay?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. So hopefully, I just hope that people can be safe and mind the the public servants, when they tell you that you got to leave and stay safe for your families. Big C, I want to just run down a couple of games in the final few minutes just to get your thoughts in some of the NFL matchups coming up this week, and it should be a great season for NFL football. The first game is kind of maybe a playoff preview. Kansas City at New England, a 5:30 p.m. start Eastern time. That game's on NBC Sports at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. There's still about 400 tickets available from $300 and up. Big C, your thoughts on that game?
Well, this New England team, Charlton, retooled during the offseason.
Yeah.
And they retooled even as late as this week, Charlton. They made a trade for a wide receiver, Philip Dorsett from the Indianapolis Colts. They traded their third-string quarterback to Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
But this is a team, when you think about upgrading, you say, how can a team get better? New England Patriots have 7 new starters from last year's Super Bowl team, Charlton.
Yeah.
7 new starters. The ironic part of it, they're all NFL veterans.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs are a team that, won the AFC West last year. I think they dominated the team in silver and black. I forget the
yeah, the Raiders. Yeah. Yeah.
But, the Patriots, this is a prelude to where they were last year.
Yeah.
This is a team that hasn't gotten worse. I don't even know if they've gotten older.
Yeah.
They've gotten better. When you look at Bill Belichick, he is all about taking care of today.
Yeah.
Teams are sitting there looking forward to the draft, having the number 1 draft pick, number 3, 4 draft pick. He has stockpiled so many draft picks over the years, Charlton. Now he's just trading them off.
Yeah. He does.
Trading them for players that can play.
He definitely knows what he's doing.
This kid they just brought in, Dorsett.
Yeah.
Now Dorsett is coming in because Elderman got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now Dorsett makes 40, 45 catches for the Patriots this year, Charlton.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
Think how great a move that is. Now he's an impact player to go along with Brandon Cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in the offseason, Charlton, along with the several other players that they brought in.
Yeah.
This is going to be an impact organization. The Kansas City Chiefs have lost their top running back. So there's going to be some struggle in Kansas City. Alex Smith, can he stay comfortable in the pocket to get the ball down the field to the new receiving core that they have? They know they got Travis Kelce at tight end.
Yeah.
But Tyreek Hill and the others at the wideout position are going to have to step up for Kansas City.
That's a very good point, Big C. New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills, 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, the kickoff here. CBS Sports has that new era field in Buffalo. About 3,000 tickets left for that game, starting at $56 and up. Big C, your thoughts on the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills?
Well, quarterback, you looked at him.
Yep.
I don't know if he's out of concussion protocol.
Yeah.
But, this is a team that's revamping.
Yeah.
This is a team that, scuttled everybody during the offseason.
Yeah.
The Jets, had a very disappointing last season under their second-year head coach Todd Bowles. The Colts have the Bills have a new head coach.
Yeah.
The Jets just picked up a new receiver today also, Charlton. They picked up a kid from Seattle.
Yeah.
And so this is a team that's trying to find a team, but they don't have a quarterback.
Yep.
You got 2 young quarterbacks that are unproven. You brought in McCallum, the veteran leadership.
Yeah.
This is a team, a quarterback without a running game.
Yeah.
So, I don't give much hope to the Jets this year. I think Bills are a better athletic team.
Yeah.
That would have a chance to pull this one out if Tyrod Taylor can play.
Especially in the early goings. We also have a team that a lot of people are still looking to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, the Atlanta Falcons, with their gorgeous stadium, but they're on the road at Chicago at 10 o'clock a.m. a Pacific time start on Fox Sports. Soldier Field, Chicago should be sold out. There's about 1,300 tickets left for that game, and tickets start about $73 and up. Big C, your thoughts on Atlanta going to Chicago?
Well, Chicago, Charlton is still suffering the hangover from the big season.
Yeah.
And so they're still living off. They don't hold out much hope for this football game.
Yeah.
They're going to be starting their rookie quarterback, Trubisky.
Yeah.
The second overall pick in the NFL draft. Glennon just couldn't get it done in training camp. After giving him a guaranteed $47 million.
A lot of money.
Back on over the clipboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
They keep holding out hope, hoping that you're going to snap or something. But this is a city that's a long ways away from a football championship from the 85 Bears, Charlie.
That's a very good point.
Defending NFC champions, high-powered offense,
Yeah.
great speed on defense. This shouldn't even be a contest.
Baltimore Ravens, the great defense they've had, at least in the preseason. They're at Cincinnati at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time start. That game is on CBS Sports, Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. About 6,000 tickets left for that game, starting at $22 and up. Big C, your thoughts on Baltimore going to Cincinnati?
Well, this should be a bounce-back year for Cincinnati. Charlton
Yeah.
and Andy Dalton needs to get back in the groove that he was in the first 3 years in the NFL. A.J. Green needs to have a stellar season, Charlton. They need to find some solace in their running game, Charlton. They have a rotation of 3 running backs. They're going to have to find which one really wants to carry the load. Dante is perfect, your ex-neighbor. He's out there.
Yeah, he's not my neighbor.
Yeah, hanging out at night, you know. They get the boy trouble.
It wasn't me, Big. I wasn't with him. That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't know who's going to be catching the ball, Charlie. You know, so that's retired. And so who's going to be catching the ball is the big story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got 2 starting offensive linemen in Baltimore.
Big C, another good game. Le'Veon Bell may be the best running back in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. 10 a.m. start Pacific Standard Time on CBS Sport at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. 3,600 tickets still available at $70 and up. Big C, your thoughts on Pittsburgh going into Cleveland?
Well, you know, Cleveland is going to be playing a little under-man on defense, Charlton. They're only going to go out and play with 11 players on defense this week. You know, the biggest problem is they got this rookie defensive end. They did a lot of talking in off-season. Myles Garrett out of A&M.
Yeah.
You got some hawking offensive tackles in Pittsburgh. It took it personal. They took exception to it.
Yeah.
And so they're going to go out of their way to introduce him to the NFL. The line ball game.
Yeah.
You have to play for 4 quarters. It's not like in a college game where you can take half the plays off.
Yeah.
So I see them attacking Myles Garrett over and over with Le'Veon Bell having fresh legs. You're going to see a lot of running towards Myles Garrett, Charlton.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't see the pass rush getting the big Ben. Antonio Brown, we know how good he is at wide receiver. And they also gave up Joe Hayden,
Yeah.
their cornerback, who is now at Pittsburgh Steelers. So not only do they have the upper hand offensively, they know what coverages the Cleveland Browns will be running because Joe Hayden will be a coach on the sideline, Charlie.
That's a very good point, Big C. Arizona at Detroit. That game is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Fox Sports. That's at Ford Field in Detroit. 3,100 tickets remain for that game, starting at $41 and up. Big C, Arizona going across the country to Detroit. Your thoughts on that game?
You know, Arizona at times in the preseason was very crisp, Charlie. Now you're going to find out in Detroit whether you wasted money or not.
Yeah.
You made Matthew Stafford the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Was that just throwing away money or was that guaranteed victory money? You know, just because he had the most comebacks in NFL history, you know, as the starting quarterback, there's a reason why he had the most comebacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always behind. I'm not playing for the game. So now he goes out this game as the highest paid player in the NFL, Charlton.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions really need to assess who the general manager is. Matt Miller still there?
I don't know, but he might be in the background, Big C. You never know. That's funny, Big C. Also, another game where a lot of people, obviously, at Houston, and now I guess the game is still on as we hear right now. A lot of the flooding has receded, I believe. Jacksonville at Houston, an emotional game, 10 a.m. start Pacific time. That game's on CBS Sports, Big C, at NRG Stadium in Houston. 3,600 tickets still available for that game, starting at $18 and up. Your thoughts on that game in Houston? Will they be emotionally ready to play that game, Big C? Your thoughts?
Charlton, this is emotions ready. Jacksonville will be better off not even showing up.
Yeah.
You know, you break quarters and had a tough time in his career.
Yeah.
Get even tougher sometimes, Charlton.
Yeah.
They have a lot of players on defense with Houston playing with a lot of rage and anger.
Yeah.
As far as for what has happened to their city. And the only way that they can go back and pay their fans back in any kind of way is taking it out on the
Yeah.
I don't think Leonard Fournette will be that much of a threat in this game because they'll have no passing game, so you'll see a lot of plays up in the box.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles doesn't scare anybody in quarterback. Tom Savage will be getting his first, regular season start of an opening game.
Yeah.
He was drafted 4 years ago out of the University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Drafted for this ultimate take over the organization.
Yeah.
The brother Mark Oswald is taking a road trip. Starting last year, so he's the journeyman now around the but this is a game that's lights out. So the
Yeah.
potential would be so high that it's going to be hard to compete defensively and special teams. Watch out.
That's a very good point. We know Tampa and Miami is postponed, so they'll play that later in the year. The Oakland Raiders at the Tennessee Titans, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time kickoff. That game's on CBS Sports at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. About 2,000 tickets left for that game down in Tennessee, and you can get a ticket starting at $55 and up. For both teams are going to be very good this year. A lot of people are picking the Raiders to win the West. Your thoughts on the Raiders going into Tennessee, Big C? Yeah. Yeah.
You know, an all-around quarterback down in Tennessee, you know, really has the best touchdown interception ratio inside the red zone in the last 2 years in the NFL, Charles.
Yeah.
And he's very electrifying. He has a young receiving core that is developing as two power backs.
Yeah.
And DeMarcus Murray and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
They were like twins back there.
Yeah.
So this is a game that the Raiders haven't played great defense in the preseason. Going to be a real challenge, Charles. And I think winning their division. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
But as you say, the Raiders have to go back east and play.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little earlier playing back east. And I like what Tennessee has. Mariota missed the last couple of games of the season last year with injury. But I see him coming out firing the ball just like he did when he was healthy last year, Charles.
That should be a great matchup. We have Philadelphia at Washington, two teams in the NFC East, 10 a.m. kickoff Pacific Standard Time. That game will be on Fox Sports at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Still 6,000 tickets left for that game, starting at $54 and up. Is that a big game? I know it's big on paper, starting in your division, but Philadelphia at Washington, Big C, your thoughts?
Jonathan, it's a huge game for Philadelphia. They did a lot of upgrades on their offense. They brought in a couple of new wide receivers, a running back.
Yeah.
You know, to try to help out Carson Wentz. They upgraded on defense with the draft picks. So this is a team that's ready, they feel, to challenge in the NFC East.
Yeah.
We know that Dallas is going to have problems with Elliott out. The Giants are upgrading their receiver core, but Carson Wentz. The Kings can have a very, very solid year. Washington, look at the chances to cover to bear, Charles.
Yeah.
They lost their receiving core. They lost their running back. They overpaid a quarterback. And they have nothing.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
This is Philadelphia's game all the way, Charles.
Yeah. Now, the quarterback that everyone keeps saying, Andrew Luck, they keep saying he's the best. A lot of people just anoint him the best. I haven't seen it on paper yet. But the coach at the Los Angeles Rams, get used to saying that, 1 o'clock p.m. start on CBS Sports from the LA Memorial Coliseum. There's still 5,000 tickets left for that game, Big C. And Andrew Luck is not going to play in that game from what I understand. Your thoughts on Indianapolis going to Los Angeles with a lot of excitement for the kickoff, Big C. Your thoughts on that game coming up?
Well, Charleston, this is two NFL teams without NFL quarterbacks, okay?
Yeah.
That's this game in a nutshell. You got Thorzine starting for, you know, the Indianapolis quarterback. In 4 starts, 0-2.
See, there you go with the facts again, Big C. Can't you just be emotional like everybody else? Yeah. Yeah.
And your buddy that lives there in the Bay Area with you, what's his name?
That's Jared Goff. He went to Cal Berkeley, Big C. Yeah.
He looks like a surfer, not
Yeah.
an NFL quarterback, and he plays like a surfer also.
Yeah.
You know, this is a team that forgot all about Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
You know, who had been the NFL Rookie of the Year just 2 years ago, Johnson.
Yeah.
But they forgot how to block for him because they were too worried about golf playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And they forgot he was out there masquerading. He wasn't a quarterback. But these are two NFL teams. You think about this. This is an NFL game that's starting, Charlton.
Yeah.
It has 2 quarterbacks combined that haven't won 5 games.
Isn't that something?
And one's been in the league 2 years, one's been in the league 4 years.
Yeah.
They haven't won 5 games combined between them. Colin Kaepernick can't get a job.
Isn't that I guess winning doesn't matter, just getting the right people that you like to be, whether you lose or not. But this is a great game coming up. Another perhaps playoff type of game. Seattle from the great Northwest traveling to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers, a 1:25 p.m. start on Fox Sports. Lambeau Field, Green Bay, still 1,600 tickets left, start at $110 up, Big C. Your thoughts on what could be a playoff type atmosphere, Seattle at Green Bay?
Well, Charlton, Seattle, they been the New England Patriots of the NFC.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They've gone out this offseason, Charlton, and made trades to upgrade their team. We saw when they just let, the receiver go, Baldwin, and brought in the defensive lineman from the Jets.
Yeah.
This is a team that Russell Wilson was injured last year, Charlton. He was hobbled the first 5-6 games of the season.
Yeah.
He's healthy going into the regular season. Eddie Lacy, they have another power back once again in that backfield.
Yeah.
We know that Jimmy, if he's healthy, the damage that he can create on offense.
Yeah.
Defense, you think about the Seattle defense.
Yeah.
They have 8 of the 11 players on the team that have started in a Pro Bowl game.
Yeah.
So this is a team that can play some football.
Yeah.
Their leading pass rusher last year, Charlton, didn't even make the Pro Bowl. He had 10 sacks. So I really like what Seattle can do in this game. Aaron Rodgers was a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback.
Yeah.
They got him some tools in the offseason with Bennett.
Yeah.
And tight end, so they upgraded their receiving corps. Jordy Nelson is healthy at the start of the season. They put in a couple of new players on their defense. It can be a preview to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
We've seen some games with Seattle, and they have played over the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
That's been phenomenal for NFL fans.
Well, I think it's a great game coming up. Carolina, Cam Newton is back at the San Francisco 49ers. 1:25 p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports Pacific Time. Levi Stadium, Santa Clara. Still over 4,000 tickets left for the season opener. Tickets starting at $36 down in Silicon Valley. You can't get a parking space for $36 in Silicon Valley. Big C, your thoughts on Carolina coming to San Francisco? Yeah. Yeah.
So there'll be a lot of local fanfare on his behalf. This is a game, Charlton, that if Carolina cannot win this game against San Francisco, they might as well mail in their season.
Yeah.
This is easy as it gets when they talk about a home opener for a team, Charlton, because there's not 3 players on San Francisco roster that anyone knows.
Yeah.
They got rid of their pass rusher, Ahmad Brooks, a week ago, Charlton. He ended up in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So he's going to help out that team. So this is a team that's selling out with their new general manager and head coach there. We're going to start from scratch. So don't expect much from us. And Carolina, with the disappointing season last year, Cam Newton was hurt, had the all-season shoulder surgery. He should be back, Charlton. The running game should be healthier.
Yeah.
We have a great receiving corps. Benjamin is going to be healthy this year. And so if we can get he and Funches to play better football, Charlton, we can see Cam Newton throw for 4,000, 45,000.
That should be a very good start for him, getting an easier team to play against. Maybe the game of the week, New York Giants, with all their offseason moves at the Dallas Cowboys. Another 2 teams starting off in the East of the NFC East. That's a 5:30 p.m. kickoff Pacific Standard Time on NBC Sports. The great Al Michaels has that game. AT&T Stadium down in Arlington, Texas. There's still about 6,000 tickets left for that game down at Jerry Jones World, Big C. Your thoughts on what could be a preview of the NFC Championship, perhaps, Big C, your thoughts?
Well, if anybody calls the rehab center for the Cowboys,
Yeah.
they need players back to start the season with.
Yeah.
Because they got too many players suspended on the drug list.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
We're going to find out what type of quarterback that they have in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Prescott, yep.
Everybody's going to talk about, well, it's the offensive line, it's the offensive line. I don't care about how good the offensive line is. Dan Marino always
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep, that's true.
So he stood on his feet for a long time.
Yeah.
So this is about Dak Prescott right now, Chuck. This is his team.
Yeah.
His team is a young quarterback that we saw last year. Coming out playing, he was better in the sophomore year. Eli Manning is what Eli Manning is. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he's throwing the football. But their receiver corps is Odell Beckham mentally going to be in it after suffering that ankle injury in the preseason.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall also suffered a shoulder injury in the preseason, Chelsea. So the running game for what the Giants are going to have to improve on, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Is their running game going to be better? Their offensive line was for the preseason. We know they've always had a great defense.
Yep.
It's what the organization been built on. The Dallas Cowboys, like I said, half of their defense is in a reset.
Yeah.
The defensive backs are all new. So this is going to be a big challenge. And, I like Prescott in this game. Eli Manning has always been known to throw a couple interceptions.
Yeah. That's a very good point, Big C. Another game will be moved to Monday night, New Orleans at Minnesota. That's a 4:10 p.m. kickoff on ESPN at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Still about 4,400 tickets left. Will Adrian Peterson have more to prove because he's going to be playing against his old team? It's going to be another great stadium. Your thoughts on New Orleans and Drew Brees going into Minnesota, Big C? Your thoughts? Yeah.
He started out 5-0 for the first time in his career last year with the Vikings, and he got bewildered after that. He said, "I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
This is normally as many games as I win in a season."
Yeah. That's true.
He tasted after that.
Yeah.
So, the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, they upgraded their running game with Dalvin Cook because
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson had some injuries last year. They just had no running back.
Yeah.
They changed up the receiving corps somewhat. New Orleans Saints always have Drew Brees.
Yeah.
The thing that the Minnesota Vikings have to worry about, can the defensive backs get into that back tunnel quick enough? Because he's going to light them up for 350 yards. He's going to do that. Just pencil that in before the game starts.
That's a very good point.
Any kind of support from their running game. Their defense played very well during the preseason for New Orleans. The best I've seen it in the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But if they can get that running game with Ingram, Peterson, and they got the young rookie running back, Charlton.
Yeah.
They're going to have a heck of a season in New Orleans. They can win 10 to 11 games.
Final game coming up. Got to get used to saying the Los Angeles Chargers, but they are the Thunderbolts, going back to where they started in Los Angeles. They're playing at the Denver Broncos at 7:20 p.m. kickoff time, Pacific Standard Time. That game's on ESPN at Sports Authority Field at Mile High Stadium. Still 1,600 tickets left for that game. Your thoughts on Los Angeles going into Denver and trying to win at I guess they're a Mile High. You know that everything's legal in Denver now, so when they say a Mile High Stadium, I don't know if they mean how high it is up in the air, Big C, or if they mean something else. Big C, your thoughts? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about San Diego, they didn't show anything down at Stub Hub.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that became an acronym for the team. They just stubbed their toe when they went in there.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything consistent. Their offense, Charlton, the receiving core is what they need some help with.
Yeah.
The running game is Melvin Gordon, if he can stay healthy, he can get you yards on the ground. But their defense had a lot of questions left to be had.
Yeah.
Trevor Siemian is healthy once again. He won the job again in Denver, where he beat out the young rookie, second-year man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you like Brock? You can't get rid of him. Yeah.
Talk about a bad penny.
Yeah.
Keep showing up.
Yeah.
And so, but that defense of Denver, Charlton, can be lights out. I mean, they got rid of T.J. Ward, which may hurt them in safety a bit. I mean, he was a hard-hitting, very intelligent safety that they had. They let him go. He's in Tampa now, Charlton.
Yeah.
But they still have the pass rusher in Von Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, wherever Von is, he's going to raise havoc.
Yeah.
And Phillip Rivers is a stationary target in the pocket. He's not a highly mobile quarterback. So I see Von and him saying hi 2 or 3 times during the night, Charles.
I'm sure they will. Big C, back in the day, there was a man by the name of Drew Bondini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He used to always tell Ali, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Rumble, young man, rumble. Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe?
After having a devastating loss like Kevin Sumlin did down at UCLA this past week, with half his kids being from the Houston area, and the sports world not being sensitive to those kids, also the coaches talk about their families and friends. And when you have these other coaches who have gone out and who've just gotten blown out, and nobody says anything about them, when will there be equality for us, when you go after coaches in college football?
That's a very good point, Big C. As we always tell you, we'll bring you more good points every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide. Follow Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. We always want to tell you there's never, ever any reason for domestic violence. If you know any woman going through that garbage, just call 911 so no woman has to deal with that garbage all on her own. And as we tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.